Hi, this is Gary. I want to share with you about the Self-Mastery course, and particularly these free introductory sessions, and answer some questions you might have, whether it might be right for you or helpful to you. And this course really came out of how I was coaching clients and having to help people from a distance when I only talk to them 1 hour a week or 1 hour every 2 weeks, and giving them very specific exercises that they can go and make changes into their life without a lot of interaction from me in the way I used to do workshops and weekend retreats. I could really make changes on their own, and the changes I saw were really amazing. So I eventually just made recordings and put it on the internet and let people run on their own with their process. And so that's how it evolved, in short. One of the reasons it's really effective is it addresses the core beliefs that drive emotions, behaviors, thoughts. And those core beliefs create issues of anger and jealousy and insecurity and fear and self-sabotage and financial problems. And when you address those core beliefs, you can pretty much address any issue, because 95% of emotions and thoughts and behaviors, and this is documented by neuroscience, 95% come from beliefs. So if you address beliefs, you can change 95% of what's going on with you. And that's where the drama comes from. And as I put this course together through clients and trial and error, no matter the issue I saw with clients, what I fundamentally saw is, to change those beliefs, they needed to develop some specific skills. One, they needed to shift their point of view and step outside their stories and outside their emotions and shift that perspective to an observer and really see what their mind was doing from outside. And a lot of this is common knowledge and not mindfulness and being the observer today, but I've got some really practical, effective ways to do that. Another thing that you need as a skill, and I found everybody needed, was you need to be able to control your attention, where you focus your attention, just being aware of where it is, and what to do with it when you have control over your attention. Everybody, no matter the issue, needed to learn how to work with their emotions, to not get carried away with them, to not go out of control with the stories and thoughts and behaviors. And so how to not only be the observer, but how to dissipate that emotion, to learn how their emotion gets created from certain thoughts and certain perspectives, but not from other ones. And so learning the nuance of emotion. And the fourth thing that's really important is to get a sense of power back over your life, how we put power in certain thoughts and how we create emotions that are powerful, and how to get it back. Okay, and that recovery of personal power is what you can then use to create the life you want. And so in these 4 sessions, you're going to learn about those 4 elements in an introductory way, and you start to see that these are kind of the building blocks of a belief. And when you start to change the building blocks, those individual parts, you can change a belief. When you can change the belief, you can change the emotion that's generated, the thoughts that generated the behavior. So a couple other things you have is like, why am I giving this away free? Because I can't stand those websites who hide everything and you don't know what you're getting. Okay? So we're building some trust here. Also, this process and this approach may not be right for everybody, or maybe it's right for you, but it's not the right time. And maybe you need to go do some other things, and you look at this a year or 3 years from now, and you go like, okay, now I want to see what that's about. But like a pair of shoes or a car, you want to try it out and see if it fits. And so I think you should be able to do that, and that's why I'm offering up some sessions free. Another point I want to make is, how is this different from maybe other programs you do elsewhere? A lot of kind of programs you might get, or success, or kind of how to change your life programs, they give you some ideal of how you're supposed to be. And say, go be that. Well, that would be nice, except what happens is that's set up in your mind as an idea from all the self-help books you read, but it doesn't address this critical inner voice of the judge that says, hey, you're failing to be that perfect thing. that really spiritual person, compassionate person, kind person, a not angry person, not afraid person. And you're screwing up and you're failing and you're a miserable failure. And so what you get when you try and be that ideal is you get this repercussion of that critical voice in your head criticizing you, and now you feel worse. You have the idea of how you're supposed to be, but you end up feeling worse. That affects you emotionally, that affects your motivation. With that motivation, now you feel worse, you don't even want to try. So I'm not giving you an idea of what you're supposed to be. What I'm going to more focus on is, what is that critical voice in your head? What are the beliefs it's from? What are the emotions it creates, and how do you step outside of that? Okay? See, a lot of those success programs, they're about creating the ideal perfect life. But I'm more honest, like, where are you starting? What's going on? And those success programs, they'll typically say, oh, by the way, you're going to have to, for this to be a success and actually work, you're going to have to get rid of these unconscious beliefs that are sabotaging your life. But they don't tell you how. They don't tell you what to do. What I teach in the self-mastery course is how to identify those beliefs, step outside of them, dismantle them, so that you can make your success strategies and your goals work for you. And how to dismantle that critical voice in your head. And those sorts of things are what I address on this website. So that's what we do a little differently here. One of the other things you're going to notice about this process and this course is things are doled out over time. You're given an exercise, and you're given a week or two to go practice it. And you want to continue practicing along that, because that's how you make long-term change. That's how you're going to build new neural pathways. That's how you're going to integrate it and make it lasting. I'm going to give you an exercise, you're going to practice it, another exercise, practice it, another exercise, practice it. And these will build on each other and become a comprehensive system. As you practice that and you work with it different ways, it's going to become a natural part of your life. And changing emotions and changing thoughts, changing behavior is going to be a natural part of your life. But we're going to build on that big change in manageable steps. Not all at once, but in manageable small steps, give you the fundamental skills to make that happen. Just like learning to swim. You don't start in the deep end. Okay? You learn by floating, you learn by holding your breath. You put all those together, and then you're swimming. You learn these skills in the same way to make huge changes in your life.